Welcome back to the channel. We're still working on Scotty's truck because, hey, we're still waiting on the postal service. Yep, I think we're on day 4 of the injector debacle of 2025 because they're still not here. I could have drove to my friend's house, picked them up, and drove them back within a day. And they've been spending 3 days in St. Paul just going around the facility for some reason. I don't know why. So while we're waiting for injectors, we're just going to keep on motoring right along with the rest of the wiring harness. Now that we got turn signals, at least the lights lighting up in the front, we're going to route the wires to the back and get all that taken care of, and then hopefully start making some actual forward progress here instead of the continuing tearing the harness apart and going backwards. But I think we're making some good steps here. This is going to be sweet when it's done. Yep. I did get it up on the lift here, as you can see, and by lift I mean 4 jack stands. The old gut doesn't like to slide under these low vehicles, so we have to jack them up a little bit. At this point, let's just get to it.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, I gotta fix the transmission wiring too. Kind of forgot about that stuff. We'll file that over here for a problem for a different day. Now we just gotta route and shuffle wires, make this look a little less garbagey. So I'm trying to do my best by Scotty here. He's got some really nice stuff in this truck, and it's really nice. So the extra wires just all attached to the battery. It's not a super clean look. I think we can clean this up a little bit, make it look a little nicer. He's got some 8 gauge. I don't know if you can see it right there, that green wire. That's 8 gauge. So I'm gonna make a wire that goes from here into the cabin area, and we'll have like a power distribution block, I guess you'd call it. Not I guess you'd call it, that's literally what it is. So we'll run an 8 gauge wire to this guy. Should be fine. We're not pulling any serious amps through it or nothing. They're basically all trigger wires, honestly, or supplying power to the PCM. I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move the multiple garbagey wires from here, replace it with 1 wire, and give him options to put more garbagey wires up under the dash so nobody can see it. I think that seems like a good idea. And then it's just less wires we gotta fish through here and have under the truck and the whole 9 yards. Probably 100 other ways a guy could go about doing all this, but those ways all cost money. And between the stuff Scotty sent with the truck and the stuff I have here, we're gonna make it happen, because the guy's gotta buy groceries still, so we can't go broke doing truck stuff. It's not the actual right size connector for 8 gauge, but it's what I have, so we're gonna make it work, hopefully. Oh, I don't think that's gonna work. That is a long way to compress that down. You're supposed to take these, and there's a little tool you put them in with a little deal, and you hit the hammer on it. I don't have that tool, so I was just gonna shove it in there and mack it with a hammer and flatten it out and maybe take a punch and really get it driven in there. I just don't know if it's gonna hold. Well, you know what? We can find out, right? How about that for an idea? Ow, my finger. That hurt. I can't hit it without hitting my damn finger. It's the wrong end on the wrong thickness of wire, but she's solid. She ain't going nowhere. We put a little heat shrink over that baby. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I am nervous about this corner poking through. We tried to fix it. It didn't work, so I think I'm just gonna run some electrical tape around it so it takes that sharp edge off, you know? You picking up what I'm putting down? Well, golly, that almost looks professional. How about that? Mounting this power distribution block has been a little more challenging than a guy would have thought. Finding a large enough area of flat sheet metal that is not in the way or exposed to the weather, a little difficult. But we're making it work. It's gonna suck for my OCD brain because it's gonna be a little bit of an angle, but you do what you gotta do, right? Well, apparently the hole walked a little bit on me. Whoops. We'll just make it a little bigger. Scotty will never know. Scotty doesn't know. I think that was a song. Maybe it was a movie.
Scotty doesn't
I don't know. Perfect. Man, that hole is stuffed. Go down there. They make these solder pellets. You just drop that little guy right in there. It's got some solder and I think flux, maybe? I don't know, I'm not very technical. We're gonna just heat that up. It'll start to melt. We just stab the wire in there, let her cool. She's done, soldered joint. Maybe we'll move the camera over here. Maybe this will be a better shot. Why do I smell so much gas? Uh-oh. The first thing you wanna do is not do that. I feel like you want your wire kinda nearby. You gotta let it cool off to go get your wire. That's kind of inconvenient. All right, let's try this again. Don't drop it this time, Simon. I usually do it in the vise. It's a lot easier to control up there, but here we are. And that thing is snug on there. She ain't coming off. I don't know if you can see down in there, but she's soldered. She is soldered. Oh, if I can just find where my heat shrink went. There it is. It's way down there. Perfect. Look at that. Golly. You're doing good, Simon. You're doing good. The taillights have not worked yet since I've started working on this project, so that was what started this down the whole road of something's jacked with the wiring. So there's two bulbs in here. One's your brake and turn, and one's your tail. I think. I don't know. I've never used these before. But there's only two wires in and out. The good thing is it's the same color wire here. Nope, it's not. It's different color wires at the other end. So let's just feed some power and see what's what. So this should be the tail light for when your headlights are on. Yep, that looks right. And then this should be your brake / turn signal. So that worked. I don't think we've had that light work yet, so that's good to know. This one I'm a little more nervous about because the wire color is green and black, and on this end, it's yellow and brown. So this brown one should be my tail light, and the yellow one should be the turn signal / brake light. We'll see, I guess. Same thing, tail light. Well, that's wrong. That should just be like on if your taillights are on. Let's try the other wire and see what happens. Nothing. So one bulb's not working and the other one's not right. Perfect. Hopefully you don't... sparks. Ooh, there's gas right here. Damn it. That's probably not good. We won't tell Scotty. I gotta put this down. Oh, yep. No, that's fine. It's fine. Let's just disconnect it so we know what's going on. Safe. She's contained. We're good to go. Well, that is not ideal. She is broken. Not sure how or why that happened. Maybe Scotty already knew. I don't know. Well, isn't that interesting? The bulb's just laying there, so it popped out of the little holder. Not sure how or why, but it did. We'll get him fixed up and he'll have taillights just like a good, safe driver should. All right, so the lights are working now. That was an easy fix. We are gonna strip the loom off of there and we're gonna make the right wire go to the right bulb because that's backwards and that'll just confuse the guy. So we're this far into the project. I was just trying to undo the electrical tape here to expose the connection so we can redo these wires. And well, the wire fell right out of my hand. I didn't even pull on it. That's kind of not promising. we should also do a little bit better job for him. So I guess that means we're taking the passenger side apart too, and we're gonna fix that. I mean, we're this far in, let's just keep going. Let's make it right for him. It's not a big deal. It takes a couple minutes to unwrap, reconnect, heat shrink, put her back together, and then at least his brake lights and tail lights will work for a decent period of time. Fingers crossed. There, that should hold them over for quite some time now. Definitely longer than the last connections were. Sure hope I wired those correctly. I probably did. I pulled the passenger side apart, and I'm glad I did because it did the exact same thing as the driver's side. At least these ones were wired correctly, and I probably could have just let them be and not touched them, and they would have worked for a while, but this was going to show its head at some point, especially these exposed wires, even though they're wrapped up. They had some fabric wire wrapper on them. Moisture was absolutely going to get into those and cause issues. So we're going to heat shrink connect them, and they should be good enough for a long time, most likely. Even doing a little inspecting of the wires here, you can see it's already nicked down to the bare wire. We've fixed a few of those in this harness so far, so we're just gonna make sure we snip that guy right out of there. I think if we come back to here, that should work. Oh yeah, that's the right way. Oh, I'm scared to hook the battery back up. Thrashed out a ton of wiring. What's this wire? Oh, that's for the fan. I ain't got to the fan yet, that's fine. We're still working on the basics of lights and running. If it don't run, you don't need a fan, so who cares? It still looks like a mess in here because, well, it is. It's all still kind of loose because we're still securing and whatever. Got all this wiring tidied up too. I mean, it looks a little messy because it's wiring, and unless you're gonna OCD and get levels and squares out and make it all look pretty, it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. But it's secure, it's all loomed or wrapped, so it should be fine. It's all clamped or zip tied where it needs to be zip tied. We got to get a clamp in here yet, but I'm just not sure exactly where I want to clamp it. Plus the fuel filter sits in there. I did find this wire, didn't even know this was back here. It's for the license plate light. Scotty's got to make a decision on what he's going to do with there. We'll just leave her tied up for now. Otherwise, everything's, fuel pump's connected back up. Everything's connected and routed and hopefully wired correctly. Also went and super glued the old lens back together. It's still cracked and whatnot, but at least it's one piece for now. And it didn't fall out. The wife went and put that back in for Scotty, so that was nice of her. So now we just got to put the battery connections back on, sniff for any burning wire smells, and see if we got lights that work now back here for the first time since I've had my hands on the truck. That'd be pretty stellar, wouldn't it? And we don't have a bunch of random loose connections back here anymore. Instead of having multiple wires just kind of glued all over this thing, we just got the two. The one that feeds the block and the one that feeds the starter. All right. No sparking or weird noises. That's a good sign. Maybe we should even tighten that bolt up. Let's just do it as right as possible all the way around. That's the wrong size. Oh yeah, nice and over tight. I don't like that wing nut is tight and that moves. That's not good ground. Jeez, that one moves too. I do not like these connectors, Scotty. Whatever, we'll make it work. I did find a dimmer switch digging through all Scotty's parts, so we can get that plugged in. That's a win. No more jumper wire. That's sad. Oh yeah. Gotta love the old clickety clickety. Clickety clickety. Let's see what happens. Things are doing things. I don't know what they're doing. Huh. I wonder if his instrument lights are wired correctly, because they don't light up. That's probably fine. The dimmer switch works, so that's freaking cool. And the headlights are working, that's freaking cool. How about the back? Please, 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 please tell me the taillights are working. Please. Woo! That's awesome. I know that's a small step, people, but from what we started with, that's huge. We basically rewired this whole freaking truck's lighting system. And they worked. Winning. It works. It freaking works. Both sides even. Yes. And for full effect, we've got to check the fronts, right? We got to make sure the fronts are working. Hell yes. That's freaking awesome. And look at this, even as a bonus, everything is working like it's supposed to. Look at that. I did something right. Sweet.